Right guys, I've had a new bike again, but this time I'm going to keep this one for a little bit. Now the problem with my Cube was my local trails, Clent Hills and Kimber Edge, basically they don't require a massive enduro to enjoy them. So I've got a trail bike and I hope it's a good one because I haven't rode it yet. Okay, so we've got the 2020 Specialized Stumpjumper FSR Carbon Pro, and it was wicked because it was a straight spot for my Cube, so absolutely awesome. So I've got rid of the enduro. I've got a trail bike, a long trail bike at that. I mean, this is the Stumpjumper. I've got a Fox Factory 34 150 fork on the front, and I think I've got a DPS, Fox DPS on the back, 140, which is brilliant. Exactly the same setup as I had on the Cube 650B that I had. The story behind this bike, obviously I wanted to get rid of the Cube. It was fantastic, but up the hills, I mean, and Clent has got some real steep hills. That 29er on that big travel enduro bike with that X2 shock on the back, which didn't give any kind of like, it was too wallowy and too soft on the back. Amazing downhill, absolutely incredible. But on the uphills it's terrible, and it's pointless having a bike that amount of money if you're not going to ride it all the time. I was choosing to ride the hardtail more. Anyway, I put it on Facebook Marketplace, Pink Bike, usual places, for a decent price, you know, fairly reasonable. And within a couple of days I had someone say, "Hi, I'm quite interested in that bike, what do you think?" And it was an orange, not a stage 6, Summit 6, it's an Alpine 6, and it was really nice. And I was like, I'm quite interested, and I've messaged him a couple of times, and the answers that I got back weren't exactly enthusiastic, so I thought, I'm going to stop messaging him. A day later I had a guy from Stoke-on-Trent basically say, "Yeah, okay, well I've got a bike for you, Stumpjumper." And originally I was after a 650B, but I saw the spec of this bike, and it's a 29er wheel, so it's a 29er again. Okay, that's fine, I've already got a 650B hardtail, but the tyres on it are like 2.6, and that's what I'm used to. So I'm going to test them up the hills. It might be a bit draggy, but these centre knobs seem to be a little bit more profound, and I've only been riding on these centre knobs on the straight, so hopefully they're rolling resistant. And it's got like an enduro tyre at the front, a Butcher, and a Purgatory grid on the back. I've heard a lot of good things about these tyres, so time will tell. So when the bike turned up yesterday, it came with a load of Hope stuff on, some E4s, red, to kind of match the bike, and they were okay. But I said to the guy, could I possibly swap the brakes? I just love my codes. I've had Hope before, and they're a little bit noisy, and I like a silent bike. Also came with some, well, it might be good for some, but some awful red bars, which I didn't like at all. So I asked him if I could swap bars and stem over as well. Now that these as a Christmas present, and it was fine. But obviously I had to swap the brakes over yesterday. Oh, this bike's quick. I had to swap the brakes over yesterday. So I was in the workshop till 11:30, bleeding brakes and things like that. Oh my god. I cannot believe how fast it went up that section. It's only what I can imagine what it's like being on an e-bike. So I've got these big 2.6 tyres. My pressure's aren't even low. Absolutely amazing. Added some more sealant yesterday, put 90 millilitres in each. There was a little bit in there, But, oh, incredible for the climb. Right, I'm going to hit the sandstone, see what it's like. Well, this is also running an NX Eagle, not a GX Eagle, which I'm used to. So far, the shifting's crisp, as crisp as a GX. And I wanted an NX because it's not going to cost me £150 to buy a new cassette. It's going to cost me 80, which is better. It's on a Shimano free up. But let's have a look at this little D8 section. Let's go through the centre. Loads of sticks, loads of sticks. Let's have a look what it's like off the drop. Oh, silky smooth.
For some reason I went from a bike with factory Fox suspension, so an X2 top of the range shock at the back and a Fox 36 Grip 2 damper on the front. This bike rolls so much better and the suspension platform on it feels so much more plush.
So this bike also is going to please my friends, because I don't like riding with a backpack unless I'm doing a massive trail ride like the Beast or something like that. So generally Benlar's my camel. Thank you Benlar for doing all this for me. But now I've got one of these little things built inside the frame. So I've got a tube, tyre levers, multi-tool, CO2. I'm all ready to go. Absolutely brilliant idea. Fantastic idea, and it's all waterproof. So come the winter, I could probably stick my phone in there as well, and keys and various things like that. So when the guy came to look at the cube yesterday, he noticed how heavy the cube was in comparison to this. And it was, but it isn't the frame or the components, it's the fork. That big 160mm Fox 36 fork weighs an absolute ton, but you don't need that for trail riding. This is a Fox 34 factory. The bike is a hell of a lot lighter. Let's see how the bike jumps. Got a little gap here. Oh my god, that is so much better. The cube wasn't a jumpy bike, it wasn't a poppy and playful bike. It was a, I see that redwood tree and I'm going to ride over it bike. Just had a conversation with a couple of pensioners. It's small talk crap. Just said, oh, it's amazing if it dries up when it doesn't rain. Absolute common sense. Now, that section, I went up too quick. And that's why I fluffed up. I popped up, went too far, nearly hit the sandstone. Nothing to do with the bike, completely to do with me. Oh, this bike. Once I get used to this, this is going to rip. Got a little bit of a creak in the bottom bracket. That's to be expected. It's a fairly new bike. Bless him, the guy that bought the bike didn't really know a lot about bikes. But the manufacturers, when they put the bottom brackets in, they don't actually grease them properly. So I'll do that when I get home. And also the seat is pointing slightly up, and it's causing me, if we ever did want to have kids in the future, it ain't going to happen because of this seat. So I need to tilt that down a little bit and raise the post up a little bit more. You see how it pops up this? Think of a name. Got to think of a name for this Specialized. Oh, till I didn't go. Oh my god. Again the shock, the X2, although top of the range shock, it bottomed out a lot. Needed to put tokens in, but to put the tokens in were a pain in the ass, so I just left it. A little bit lonely today. Benlar's got his new job, he started today. So he set off for a ride at 5:40 and I was in my workshop till late, so I didn't want to do that. And Craig, who started riding with us, he's a teacher and he's got to go back to school. So that blows as well. Well, back to solitary roads in the day, I think. Might join Benlar for a morning one tomorrow. Till then, let's enjoy this little bit of flow. I hope there's no walkers or horses coming like there was last time. See how the special handles down here. Oh my god, God, it's popping, it just wants to take off. Gonna watch it creep down here. Brilliant fun. Hill, up a bit. There's a bit of a drop down here. Got a bit of hero dirt going on. Yeah, man, this bike. Straight up the roots. Horses should have to pick their own shit up. Oh, that's washed out. That was no problem. Yeah. Well, I've done the hardest climb in Kimver, and that was an absolute piece of cake. Won't be surprised if I got my best time on it. It's just, I know it seems like I go on about these bikes that I have and how good the one is and it's better than the other one, but they're all good in their own way. Just so happens this one's good on trails, amazing on trails. Don't forget, before this I had the enduro and I got the hardtail, and this is like right in between. On your right, guys. Thank you. Cheers. Thank you. I'll try this way. That's awesome. I think I'm going to cut down here now. Coming down to what used to be over the Hump and Duck. I've had this bike in trail mode the entire way. I haven't stuck it in downhill mode, and it feels really plush. Used to be able to go straight through there, down this little hump. Used to take off down this hump. That was incredible. Here, a bird of prey. Reminds me of Kickboxer. Have a lap at the pump track while I'm here.
I've never actually been on a bike first time and actually felt like I'd been on the bike for years. It's a completely different kind of feeling to all the other bikes that I've actually tested. It's fast and nimble, and that's exactly what I wanted for these local trails. It's just incredible, and this is a perfect example. First time on this bike, straight up this section here. Normally it takes me a couple of attempts on a new bike to clear that. No problem at all.
Very important to hydrate. Just got back, all hot and sweaty. Checked my Strava. I've got my personal best on Kimver Climb. A couple of the downhill sections I didn't really go fast on anyway, but it felt like I could go fast. So all in all, I've had a successful first ride. I'm going to go and strip the bottom bracket out and grease that up because it was a bit squeaking. I'm going to change that seat because the angle of that seat was cutting me in half. Apart from that, awesome. So if you like the video, like and subscribe, and I'll feature the bike in future videos as well. See you next time.